finally. They apologized for taking 8 weeks, 9 weeks
Jamie's
to do it.
on that one too.
I think you're
Yeah.
on there for
Yeah.
sure. Are you
Yeah,
on
yeah.
it? Did you register?
Yeah.
I don't think so. You
Yeah,
are,
but she's
DJ
on it,
is,
yeah.
Chia's is. Well, you get one even if you didn't
Okay,
register,
yeah, of
but
course.
you won't
But
get
anyway,
it.
it's this Sunday. So speaking of announcements, this Sunday, many things are happening. One is it's going to be the start of her
Beginning of my
birthday,
birthday
and
week.
she bought really, really great. It's not sheet cake, it's cheesecake and solid chocolate cake. And so it's all getting ready for, no, she's not, I told her, I said, we'll get a cake, and she said, I'll pick them out. It's fine. I know what I want. Okay, so that's going to be, and then we're also
I was gonna bake
doing
'em, but I wasn't up for it.
something else was happening on Sunday. Our talk title is "Hurry Up Already." Hurry up already. And Sue, Sue, are you up for SOM up here on Sunday? No? Okay. Charles, it might be good for you to do because Michelle's doing the announcements, so that way they'll get a little piece of you anyway. How about that?
1.5 minutes.
And we're not kidding. Oh, no. Oh, honey, 5. That's an eternity.
The only thing you're not allowed to say is, and I just really appreciate Rita and Patrick. Don't do that.
Oh, no, that's not true. Okay, but anyway, so that's a good, I said if she said no, but that's not just for this week. Next week you're able to do it. Okay, so, because everybody's going to do it, I mean, it's... Okay, so do you know what it is, though, that what we're looking for the Science of Mind? You've heard the others do it. Mm-hmm.
What it is and what it means to you. Like if somebody was sitting there and didn't know what it was.
So, in other words, these people have come here, and they may be their first time, so you're going to let them know from your perspective what it is. And like Sue Wood last week, what she gave an example of what she does in her life in a minute and a half. Yeah. Okay. Announcements, 32 minutes. Okay, so anyway, that's happening then. Tuesday, we're having Maria Christina back for another healing Tuesday at 6:30, 7:30. Last time it was really powerful, whoever was there with that. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. Pretty powerful.
It's very special. You don't have to do anything but sit there and receive.
Last time there was just something. There was just something happening. It was so beautiful, and I was saying that I just love it. So anyway, that'll be next Tuesday, and then that's all for this moment. We have a great movie though at the end of the month. It's called Inner Worlds, Outer Worlds. We watched it last night. Sue Buckley picked it, and it was just wonderful. And then we have a couple of little things to mark on your calendars. Walt Weiss is starting on March 30th, his Revolutionary Agreements for 4 weeks, which is Marion's book, Marion Heads. Really great. We've actually taken a day with him before. Great stuff, but it's 4 weeks. And it's based on her book. Let me see. And then Marion's also back today. And she's going to be having her Tai Chi on Saturday starting March 21st. Yeah. So we have a lot of really fun stuff going on and really powerful stuff going on in March. Yeah. Oh.
March 19th.
God, we're busier than I thought.
Thursday, March 19th at 7 p.m.
Not next. Yeah.
Yeah, 7 p.m. And his GoFundMe site is up on Facebook, too. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Charles, because I was only thinking like in a week's thing, but we have a lot of really good stuff coming up in March.
And also, I wanted to talk about the final project before we start. We changed it. Now, if you've already started working on it, then do what you worked on. But what we're going to have you do, it's all done? Okay. Well, we're going to have you do this anyway.
So this is going to happen anyway.
This is going to happen anyway, and it's not any big deal. Well, it is kind of, but not really. We want you to be able to stand up here. After tonight, you'll be able to do it because the whole class tonight is going to be spiritual mind treatment. We want you to be able to stand up here without writing it down and do a spiritual mind treatment.
Yeah. And
Now,
and-
if you want to write it down ahead of time and memorize
but you
it,
guys, but
that's
remember, like Charles just said, easy, but it means easy the right way. No, I mean easy that from our format and how it goes, and that's why tonight's so great
and
with
if
it.
you've already done a project, then you'll do your project
Right.
too. But
It's great.
some
It's
of
all
you, I
good.
doubt many of you have started. Not everybody is as a student as Chia. To take this class into your life, right? And tell, yeah, I don't even have, you have,
Yeah,
of
of
the
your
power of
8
your word.
weeks, of your power, of what you went through with these 8 weeks. Always 5 for those. Oh, no, the spiritual
Depends
mind
on
treatment
who's
could be a
treating.
minute if you wanted it to be. Lori goes, yes, because, yeah, exactly. But what I mean is, yeah, but, because we breathed it. No, we birthed it last night. Nobody was there when we birthed it. Oh, yeah, that was the very first couple classes. Well, anyway, now
Go
you'll
look
know.
at your notes, you'll see it.
Yeah. Okay,
All right. We don't want you to worry about
there
it.
you go. Too much
Don't
information,
worry.
so fast.
There's no stress anymore. It's over.
Because we're building our immune systems.
Yes, we'll build whatever you want it to be about.
For yourself.
No, actually, well, yeah, for yourself. Well, for yourself or for someone else, if you feel comfortable. Tonight, we're going to totally work on treating for ourselves. Next week, we're going to work on treating for others. So whatever's going to be that you feel comfortable doing when the last week comes. All right?
Okay.
So, yeah. All right?
We'll send it out. We'll have
We
it
just
again.
felt like we didn't
Let's
give you
treat
enough
it.
spiritual
Let's
mind
treat it.
treatment,
Let's
so
treat
and
it.
we're going to really focus on it the last couple of weeks. All right, so let's take a deep breath and let go of all that and center ourselves in the beautiful breath of life. Take another breath in and out. And that very breath, that breath of life, is always right here, right now, moving through us. It is God within us, Spirit within us. That's what I know. I know it's everywhere present, that spirit and that power and that energy and that source. It's inexhaustible, first cause, always first cause, never been touched by anything, pure, pure energy. And that's what we are. That's what I know. And what I know right here and right now, that as we meet here together tonight, we share that breath of life together as we move through this time, move through these thoughts and this information that is being presented tonight, that we are in that highest place, that place of infinite intelligence, that place of beauty and love and perfect communication. That's what I know and that's what I claim. And I know that everything here unfolds from that highest place, that all that we need to know tonight comes forward, all we need to reveal comes forward, all we need to give comes forward in the most perfect way individually for each of us. Divine right action is in place. And this is a time of expansion, and I claim that expansion for each and every one of us because I know the power and presence of spirit that resides within us can never be stopped by anything. It can never be obstructed by anything. It is pure flowing energy at all times. So I know that's what's here tonight, and I give gratitude in advance for an amazing evening, knowing that it's already done, already complete in the mind of God, already a done deal. So with that thanksgiving that I feel so deeply within, I just release this word. I let it go as law, knowing that it's done, and just affirming, and so it is.
So it is.
Okay.
So there's an intention we have for this evening, and the intention is to, what we've been feeling, especially after last week, is that we had to, okay, and had to rush it out, and that doesn't feel good for us, and I'm sure for you who's trying to grasp certain things about treatment work, is to kind of rush it without doing that. It's like, what do you mean that number 2 goes into 3, and on all of that kind of stuff. So we're going to start there tonight. And we're going to start with these treatments, and we're going to really go through them and really be with them so that we can connect. Because in reality, how I feel about the treatment part of it, there is no right or wrong in the mind of good. But everybody needs their map, their path that can get us so that when we're in times of difficulty or in times we have a place to go, a place to, you know, like I said, every once in a while if I get really confused and I want clarity, I just have to go back to like when I taught kids, and the kids were just very simple. This is what we are, this is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we let go, and then, you know what I mean, but take yourself through these steps. And if you're not clear of them, then like we're going to go through tonight, the why we never say you, why we can't give you confidence, why we can't know for you that you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and feel like conquering the world. We don't know that. But we do know that the world that is filled with everything is already inside of you. And we do know that when we treat, but we're treating from our mind. So we really want to take that approach tonight to really wonderfully gently go through it. So, and then when there's a question, we can go with that. Does that make sense? Because it's been happening a lot, and it always does. Look at the inner child workshop. I have to have a whole day now because, as much as I redefine it, it always still ends up, okay, grab your child and let's go. So we're going to take time with this tonight and really be at one with this. So when we walk out of here, we're going to go, Rita's looking at Patrick very, very strangely, like, let's move on.
No, I'm going to tell you a funny story now.
Oh, yes. Oh, this is the best.
This is a
treatment.
really funny story about a treatment, okay? So we've been trying to launch this flying solo in Los Angeles for about 6 months and trying to get a certain person to, it's all right, he wouldn't care if I talk about him, to put it, to get the advertisement out. Because, flying solo, first of all, they had to take over the whole week, take the whole weekend off, and we didn't want to do it at the last minute. So anyway, we were getting nowhere with this, and no phone calls returned, anything like that. And, this is a totally loving relationship, so there's no animosity. But
If
we were
you
just
know
like,
me, marketing, it's like,
so we
I'm
were
always
like,
marketing.
so we were just like, okay, I said, okay, I am done.
Oh, this is the best.
And I did this treatment, and all my treatment was for the resolution of this. I'm getting out of the way of how it happens. All I know is flying solo is resolved. The information is out, and if it's not supposed to be out, I'm okay with that because I know that weekend is going to be the highest amazing weekend that there is. But I'm done with this waiting thing, or I don't remember how I
Because
worded
people were actually
So-
calling and didn't have
Yeah.
anywhere to go to sign up and give their money.
I hadn't said, and so it is, and my phone rang.
And I'm on my way to the phone
Wait,
to
wait,
call
and-
someone.
And he goes, it's James. And I looked at the phone, and it was Reverend James calling me. And I picked it up, and he had pocket dialed me, or as I like to say, butt dialed. Now, what are the chances that I hadn't talked to him in 2 months, so it was like, and then he doesn't hear me. I'm going, James, it's Rita. And he's like, and then finally he goes, oh, Rita, oh my God, I can't really talk right now. I have to be at an appointment. I said, no, I got to talk to you about flying solo and blah, blah, blah. The next thing I knew, he was like at his computer. He had like 15 minutes. He
right.
didn't even want to talk to me. And he's writing all the information down and sending it to his administrator, and it was done, and it's up online.
And when we woke up this morning, I could call that woman
But
and
the
say,
funny part about it was the butt dialing thing. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know how the law is going to work. I mean, what were the chances that he would get butt dialed? And then usually when you butt dial somebody, they don't hear you when you're going, hello, hello, hello. And so I knew it was the answer to and it happened like immediately. Because I had so much feeling behind it, and I was so direct that I was done and that it needed to fulfill
you could
itself
hear
now.
Rita, it was hysterical in the other room because I was going, okay, never mind. I'm just going to treat and move my feet. I'm calling Brent, the administrator. I'm going to say, let's get this together. People need to have this. And she had just finished. And so it is. And so I walk in the phone. She goes, James? Is this James? James is calling. And I looked at her. I went, you're good, girl. You are. And then when it was butt
No,
dialed,
but when
I just
I
went,
get like that,
the universe, can't get it.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Get out of the way.
When I get like that, then I will have immediate demonstrations.
Immediate, yeah.
Like they'll be immediate. So, all right, well, I don't know. It's
I
happened to me.
think there comes a time, Rita
But I
and
don't,
Go ahead.
I'm not always that direct. And then that's to me what the process is. That takes the process is when you're not really serious about it. Like you really aren't just saying, you know what, I've had it with this. This is the way it's going. This is the way I want this right now, and you really feel it, and you know it's done. And I don't think that can be taught. I think that's something that has to be like practiced, like you practice the violin or the piano or something, to where you learn how to play with feeling. Like somebody can't teach you how to play with feeling. My singing teacher used to say, I can't teach you to do what you do. You sing in a way that I can teach you the notes and all the technicality, but I can't teach you the feeling behind it. So anyway.
Well, anyway, we just want to give you
I just wanted to tell you that because it was so funny. I just thought it was hysterical.
So basically, you made a decision, like, and it was like, okay, this is it, and that was a decision.
It was a decision.
And
Right.
then it was, you just took it from there.
Yeah,
Right.
because here's the thing. We were talking about it before we came here. We can go beyond butt dialing, folks. There's a bigger universe out there. This is just a great example of it meeting. And Rita and I were talking about, I said, I've known Rita for 21 years now, and here's what I know about when she's treated. She says, I don't understand. I said, because when Rita says enough is enough, I don't care where the house is coming from, it has to be now because I'm bored thinking about it, I'm tired. Same way with me. All of a sudden, everything opens up for you. But I think there's this part of us that thinks there's this process that we have to kind of go through, and there can be. There's nothing wrong with it. What do you think treatment is? A treatment is a process of steps that lead us to it. But the final thing is, I'm done. If you want it, and it's for the highest good of you, then this is what treatment's about. But I think we're getting to a place where treatments are going to become even sure they're going to be like, the time is now.
But I also didn't put the restrictions that
Obviously.
even flying solo would happen.
Right.
I was just done waiting to see if it was going to happen or not happen. I knew I was going to Los Angeles one way or the other. That was done, but I didn't want to be in that waiting time anymore. So
that's why we
I
love
thought if
this
it's-
title this week. It's like, hurry up already. I mean, that's what we feel, don't we? It's like, okay,
anyway,
so let's go.
I just wanted to share that with you. 'Cause
Let's get our spiritual butt dial in order, and let's make this
okay, honey,
happen here.
this is your turn.
Oh. Okay, creative process, we do not have to go over in for hours here, because all of you have stood up here, many of you, and actually explained it, have you not? But it bears repeating only because this is our entire philosophy. This is what a spiritual mind treatment is. This is planting it in the soil, better known as the law of our being, and allowing it to what? Grow. And sometimes it grows fast, and sometimes it is. It's all the metaphor. But in front of you is something that Rita found that I used. This used to be my, I love this. Better than even, the one that we have that's not up here. We all know it, the circle and the three dividing, which is what is on top? No. I mean, yes. What's that? Thought, seed. The seed is here, the thought, spirit. Yeah. And then you drop that idea, which is the seed. The seed, because in the seed contains it all. But it needs somewhere to what? Exactly. It needs somewhere to germinate. It needs somewhere to germinate. And then we place it in the law, and we get our grubby hands off of it. We water it, we visualize it, we get excited about it, we act as if it's already happened. That's our job. That's what we need to do. If you want a relationship, you start to prepare for it. You get your garden all ready, you're all prepared for it. If somebody wants a relationship, we say you prepare by knowing it's so and getting room on the other side of your bed. Stop hogging it up and make some room in your closet. There's somebody moving in. And if they're not moving in, it's because you don't want them to move in. But you're pretending like that would be a great idea to have a relationship. But there's a whole bunch to that. So this is our creative process. This is all we have to do. That's why I love the seed metaphor, because it's childish and it's wonderful, because it's that simple. You have an idea, you plant it in that incredible gift that we have called our law of our being, and then we say, and so it is. And we get out of the way and let it happen through butt dialing, or it happens through somebody calling that we could never get up in the morning, my friends, to be able to figure out how the law is going to work in our treatments. But if we do get in there, then it's going to block it. Not because we're bad people, it's going to block it because you're in the way of the current. You're in the way of the flow. Make sense? So I love this old idea. On the right-hand side of your paper, this is the individual use of the creative process, personal experience of the seed soil plant process. But I love this one. This is what we're talking about right now, right? We have a new idea, a vision, a new choice, and what do? We drop it into the law, and I love the little rake. We're just making it all nice, and it was pasta works as well. And we go back and forth, and then we create a new experience, unless we go back to the what? So what happens is we do this, but then we're used to behaving from this place, right? So then we pull the old idea in, and it becomes just this automatic, habitual, as it says here. But what I love about it is that's what Joe Dispenza talks about it too, doesn't he? You keep doing it, you wake up in the morning and you start doing the same thing that you did the day before. And there's nothing wrong with doing the same thing. It's how you're thinking about doing. Of course, we're all going to get out of bed and we're going to go to work or do whatever it is that we're doing in the morning, go run. But how are you waking up, and are you running as a new? Are you going to work new? Or are we going to work with the old idea? So, and I love how it just keeps going round and around and around. So the opportunity, I love this opportunity to share with God the shaping of the conditions of life is a tremendous challenge and the great responsibility that comes with freedom. So, yes. Yes. Perfect. So as we're doing this, does this make sense? You can talk through this.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Joe, he always asks a very important question. He asked the question of, are you going to live in the memories of the past or a vision of the future?
Right.
And those memories of the past have those, or the old idea. It's just that the new vision, the new choice, those take the treatment is so useful for that because it helps you put more emphasis and that subconscious thought into that future, and you have to. It's a process for some because you have to keep putting it out there if the negative or if the old choices continue to come back. You know.
That's why it's not good enough to just think positive, because thinking positive when you have a whole bunch of stuff in your subconscious that's telling you the opposite and you don't even know it. But the good thing about this, and spiritual mind treatment is because that's going on whether we know it or not, right? It's just going on.
Yeah.
It's a continual thing. It's going on constantly. Everything's formed from contemplation. And so spiritual mind treatment gives you the opportunity to direct it consciously. That's what you're doing. You're basically rewiring your brain.
So I have a question about this. Having taken the self-mastery course and understanding that you have to get to the quantum field to really change the subconscious. And so is that in here? I mean, I think that's an important part because you can also just be, wishful thinking rather than,
Well, I
okay,
can
I've
tell
really
you that,
accessed-
I can tell you from my own experience for years of studying this and meditating and reading and embodying it, that I go to the quantum field really quick when I do a treatment. I go there.
But here's the thing about the quantum field.
It's the first.
But in reality, Dr. Bruce Lipton, after paying money to go see him, he had only one thing to say about that because he actually addressed this. He said, "The field is God, and the field is it all." That's the all. There is no, I'm going to get to the field or go to the field. You're coming from the field. Well, but here we go again. We're going to unwork that. No.
But it's like I have to consciously, in order to really leave, to relearn, because I have been doing it over the past. But it's got to be a conscious decision. Okay, now I am really going to go into the quantum field, because it's not an automatic thing.
Well, then you tell me, where is the quantum field for Melissa?
Well, I mean, I
'Cause
have
you've
to get to a
mentioned it
certain
a
place.
lot. I
Yeah,
mean,
I just
the
have to
quantum-
mention it. I just have to get to a certain place where it's really kind of like I said, I perceive the power and presence of God, and then I really send my awareness out, and I feel myself in space, and that's how, like what Joe does in his meditations, that's how I actually get to the quantum field. But that has to happen before this happens, right? I mean, this is at the beginning, and then you plant the seed.
Yeah.
Yes, but I mean, if you're doing it consciously, to do a treatment, you have to, that's going to be effective. It can't
Right.
just be,
Because your purpose will be,
Words.
then consciously you say, because it's not enough, you guys. I'm so glad we're devoting it all to spiritual treatment tonight, because here's the deal. At the end of the day, with this whole idea of God, quantum field, or whatever, it's not enough for me to sit there in my meditation and fall into the quantum field, which feels so delightful, and then go to the gym and have somebody come up to me and want to discuss something that's going on at CSL Kauai. I have to know, and I'm going to tell you, because I worked the quantum field today at 10 a.m. when I was in my mode of, and then someone addressed me wanting to discuss CSL Kauai and its going-ons, and I was able to go, and I said, oh my God, I'm in the field. And I said, I'm in the field. And I had this conversation with this man that usually could have been so filled with, wow, that one over there, old, defense. And I was just vibrating because I said, I'm in the field right now. And this was one of the most powerful conversations I have ever had with anyone, and couldn't even tell you why. Because what I want for me is to get beyond, meditation and take it into the bank.
So, yeah.
The bank or the
That's
hospital.
what I want to say. You have to be able to be consciousness on demand.
Yeah,
so
that's
you
what it
have to
was.
be able to access the field immediately. You might spend the time in your meditations being able to prepping yourself and practicing yourself, but it comes to a point where when somebody's looking at you and you have to do a treatment for somebody that, right then, you can't wait and say, oh, I'm going to go do a meditation first and get into the quantum field before I can do that. You have to be able to access it immediately. Right.
Yes.
That's what it means.
Well,
right?
it means you're up there lifting weights, and I see this person, and then I know what they're wanting to do, and all of a sudden and then my old idea of Patrick comes in and goes, warning, get ready. They're coming in, defend. I'm not kidding, that is what's going on. I just like to put words to it. But for me to stop instantaneously, and I heard, you don't have to go there, guess what you get to do? And I'm vibrating again, I go, and I just took this deep breath and I went, I'm in the frickin' field right now. Holy crap, and he doesn't even know this. And he's coming on, and we might as well have danced like this. Yes. No. No, but I'm in it this very moment. It's conscious, that's it.
It's conscious, like it's getting...
Yes. It's just saying, you guys, it's like this. No, it's like saying,
Well, we are in
it's
the
like
field. We
making
might
the
not know it.
decision, you go, I'm in the field all the time.
Right.
Okay, wait, I'm going to consciously, guess what? I want to go back to warning, get out, attack, get it, I don't want to do that. So I can go, but what do I know? You don't have to call it in or get it. All of a sudden you just go, I'm in the field. I have horns when I do my, but that
it's a practice.
It's practice. Oh, that's what it. All that stuff you're talking about, Melissa. That you have prepping. You're prepping, and that's why I'm saying that the field is everywhere.
Does that mean we never get triggered?
Oh God, no.
No, but when we get triggered, it's like Joe Dispenza says, it's a win when you recognize it and you go, I'm not going there, and you turn yourself around and you go into the quantum field or into the absolute. We call it the absolute.
It's really a
same
frequency and a vibration for me. Yes.
Yeah, you can't. No, not if you.
knowing you are part of God and really bringing that through, and then knowing. It's almost like,
Yes.
and then being not separate from it. Being in it, knowing it, and it's done.
And then you're a walking treatment. You're not going to sit there and go, step 1, I'm recognizing this. You know, you're going, hell with 1 through 5, man. I'm already right here. This is vibrating.
I was running on the path. I don't remember what it was, Monday or something. Yeah, maybe Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. I was running on the path, and I had all these things coming into my mind, stuff like, oh, God, that. All of a sudden, I said, no, you got to start treating right now. And I started treating. And I got this thing about being first cause. And we did this once in class. I remember Meg got it, and she was like, oh,
I'm not coming
first
back. I already
cause.
got it.
So I just went into that field of knowing that I was first cause, and I started speaking my word from there. And and every time it would slip away, I go, no, I'm first cause. Oh my God, I'm first cause, and this is what I know. And it really, just, by the time I was done with my run, I was so clear that, and then if something would come up, I'd start ho'oponoponoing, and then that would like wipe it out of my mind, and then I'd start my treatment again. It was just like, it's practice. But does it, are you there all the time? There will be a day, maybe if you're I don't know. I don't know if you could be there all the time, like totally never get triggered. I can't say that I have ever been there all the time, except for maybe if I'm on a retreat or something like that and I have no other distractions and, but I do know how to get there. And I knew how to get there fast if I have to, if my whole life depends on it. Sometimes it does. I can get there fast.
Well,
but
maybe
what
we
is
should
getting there? It's
well-
a shift in consciousness. It's not like you're going somewhere. You're just you're changing consciousness from being in the world of form
Right.
to being in a form that's never been touched by anything, where anything is possible.
Oh, well,
For me, it was all, I mean, I get up every day and I read. And I'm embodying this stuff because I'm reading it, and then I'm meditating on it, then I'm studying it, then I'm listening, and I'm taking classes, and I'm just doing it, and pretty soon my thoughts are changed. I don't think the same way I used to think. I just don't think that way anymore. I don't even look at things that are going on with my kids right now. There's some interesting things going on with them, but I don't even think about them that way anymore. I think, oh, okay, because my brain's been changed somehow. But how did it happen? I think it happened because I took the time to like really read this stuff, read everything like a sponge that I could read, that pretty soon your brain would have to change. And now we know that's what's happening. Your brain really actually rewiring from the person you used to be. Because I remember when I first came to this teaching, I had like severe sciatica, and people were treating for me, and I was thinking, I didn't know. I didn't know back then. I was just trying to get rid of my sciatica, and that wasn't what it was about, So it wasn't about my sciatica. But as soon as I started to progress and learn and grow, things started to change, and my body started to change, and so I think it's just it's just taking the time.
and also I think
And you're, Michelle, I just want to say one thing. Michelle, I'm calling you Michelle. Melissa, you're further along than you know. I mean, if you really look at yourself from when you started, and all the stuff you've done for yourself in the spiritual realm, not just this, but other things, if you really look, you'd say, wow, I'm there. I'm really there already. I'm just getting better practiced at it, so.
No, it's fine. I think there's a missing piece that I feel is not going to. It's settled right here. I think one of the obstacles that we, as these wonderful light beings, are having is we're still trying to get there. And I just know that what happened to me wasn't about getting anywhere. What I know about it is, so the idea about getting there, we're never going to get there because we're already here. It's about us really revealing that and really believing that, because if I'm always thinking, I got to get there, I'm never going to get there, because I'm always going to be frustrated, bless you, and I'm always going to be, waiting to get something. But if we could change our terminology, and we could say, well, how do you attain that? Actually, there's nothing for me to attain. I just have to reveal it from myself, because that's the truth. And I have to make a definite decision. a decision to say, you know what, I was doing something the other day, and I said, and I was about to react in a way, and it's not like I'm battering myself, but I said, Patrick, I don't do that anymore. It was so powerful. I don't do that anymore. That's what I used to do. And then last night or whatever night, we were watching the movie that Sue has for the end of this month. And it said, and I could tell that my trigger went off because it said, and this is not that new age stuff about thinking, your life into from positivity. And I was like, okay, go to the quantum field right now, Patrick, because they're not alive on there. You don't have to get crazy with them. But I'm like writing down stuff because and then I wrote it, and it said, this is not about creating a life by thinking positive. This is a life that is created by your thoughts and your beliefs. We happen to think, go figure, that thinking positive might serve us a little bit better on the road of life. But the real truth of New Thought and New Age is that we are creating our reality by what we think and what we believe. The positivity thing, which I still can't wrap myself around why that's like
That's
you're
an
smelling
effect.
poop
No, but
when
it's
you
an
talk
effect.
about it.
It's an effect.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about the general out thing, why people are going, it's the happy people and they want to be positive, and I'm thinking, holy crap, do you hear yourself? Yes, why do you think we're in this class? Because we want to continue struggling? No, we're in this class because we know how damn powerful we are and that we are consciousness on demand. There's nothing ever to get. Anything that's being withheld from us, God bless us, we're swimming in our misguided thoughts. And all we have to do is go back and say, I love you, man. Let's get back on the road. That's how it is. So if we could do for a week, this is for me, just do it for me. For a week, live from a place of nothing to get. That this quantum field that everybody wants to talk about and have seminars and everything, that quantum field is who we are. The field is happening right here, right now. If you're tired, it's happening right here, right now. If you're wondering what's going to happen later, coming off of a big benefit, it's here right now. It's amazing. Starting new projects, starting new things. It's here right now. Just think of how different it would be. There would be less stress to try to figure this out so we can get to happiness. And I'm like, wow, that's where we're at. That's where I think, and that's where when you do your spiritual mind treatments, that's where it's about. And whether or not you do it with calm, peacefulness, which is great, or you do it with, you know what, I am tired of talking about this. I am tired of racing my mind to try to get it before I can have the goodies of life. Yeah, that's what we're doing with spiritual mind treatment. So there you go. Wow. You betcha. You betcha. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Let me sit out.
Slide number 1. We're going to go all the way through it.
What did she say?
Okay.
Wait a minute. I think
So-
that was something against me.
Bring something to mind that you want to treat for tonight, okay? That we'll work with all the way through this class. And if it's the one you've already worked on, that's fine. And as far as that's concerned, if you, at the end of this class, want to hand that back into us, you can. If you feel like after you've gone through all this, you want to rewrite it, that's good too, all right? But for now, bring something up, okay? This is Ernest Holmes' definition of treatment. It's the one that we all memorized in practitioner studies so we could answer it on the test, but we don't have to do that. Treatment is the art, the act, and the science of consciously inducing thought within the universal subjectivity for the purpose of demonstrating that we are surrounded by a creative medium which responds to us through the law of correspondence. So, it's an art. That's probably the part we can't teach you. It's an act, you have to do it. And it's a science because it works. And you're consciously inducing your thought within the universal subjectivity. Now, the universal subjectivity is the universal law. It is the everything. It is the field. It is it is unlimited potential. Okay, it's as much of that as you can embody and use, you can have in your life as demonstration, right? So you're consciously inducing thought within the universal subjectivity for the purpose, its only purpose is to demonstrate that we are surrounded by a created medium which responds to us through a law of correspondence. So as you respond to that, it's going to correspond, whatever that is to you. So it's always really going to work. It's just a matter of degrees, right? And then he says, yeah, I know that's a big word. In universal subjectivity, that's a I know. Well, I just told you it was the field. It's the everything. It's the absolute. It's the place that we're impressing with our thought. It's the field. Use the field if you want. All right. It's responding to us. It's subjectivity. In other words, it's subject to us. Okay, we are it. It's not outside of us. We're living and breathing it right now. And because you're sitting there and we're all sitting there together, is from something that we did in that field that brought us all together, okay, in this moment. We consciously created this, or maybe subconsciously, I don't know, but we're all here because of some impression that we put into that universal subjectivity. So, yeah, okay.
Rita, what's the difference between subjectivity and then the universal? Is that
Then universal means the whole enchilada.
Right.
This is demonstrated individually too, just like that says it's
right. That's what
it's
I'm
all like it's universal and it's individual. So the individual
individual
part
use
of
of
it is how much of it you're using. Is your use of it. It's only your use of it. You have the capacity to use all of it, and you could never be used up. It's like you're the ocean in a drop, right? You're not a drop in the ocean. You're an ocean in the drop. You're an ocean in the drop. You are living in universal subjectivity. It is who you are. It's a matter of how much of it are you using. So when we consciously induce thought within the universal subjectivity for the purpose of demonstrating, it means that we're impressing that field with our minds. And I think Joe Dispenza says the same thing in different words, right? They all say the same thing. Anybody, if you look, as a man thinketh, so he is. In its more simple meaning, treatment is the time, the process, and the method necessary to the changing of our thought. Okay, so when we treat, the only reason we're treating is to change our thought about something, change our belief, basically. I would say belief more than thought, because our thoughts come from our belief. So its only purpose, really, is to change our belief. It's not to get the thing. The thing's going to come if our belief is changed about it. If we believe that we can have all the abundance in the universe, we're going to have all the abundance in the universe that we can conceive we can have. It can take time only because it takes time for us sometimes to change our thought. So that's where it becomes a process. That's nothing wrong with that. Like today, that treatment I did when James called me immediately, there was no time. It just, okay, because for some reason in that moment I was so sure. When we're so sure, there isn't necessarily time in a process. It can happen immediately. But then other times there could be a process and there could be time, but the process is only for the changing of our thought or our belief, right? Treatment is clearing the thought of negation, so you're clearing out all the negative with it, of doubt and fear, and you're causing yourself to perceive the ever-presence of God. So that's the whole point, is to what we talked about now, steps one, to conceive of the presence of God. That's all, that you are the presence of God, that you are the field, the absolute, whatever you want to talk about it, and you're pushing all the other crap out of the way. Sometimes I'll do that in my treatments. I'll say, my word, removes any obstacle that's in the way now. It clears it. There's only pure flow in my life right here and right now. All the abundance of the universe is mine now, blah, 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 whatever. But that's what you're doing. So you're clearing out all the negativity and not necessarily even having to say it, but it is doing that. If you can perceive the ever-presence of God, causing yourself to perceive the ever-presence of God, there couldn't be any negativity there, because all there would be there is good and love. And this definition is in the textbook somewhere. It might be in the glossary. I'm not sure where it is, but it's there. It's a very famous quote. So does it make sense? Yeah, it's a lot of words, but it makes total sense to me. I've never been able to memorize it, but I don't think it matters. I remember Doug LeBeau used to have it memorized, but I think you have to come up with your own definition of spiritual mind treatment so you understand, like, if you were going to, actually do that. We'll do a Joe Dispenza. Turn to somebody next to you, not Patrick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 of you, and explain what that means to the person.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Because if you
In
can
your own
remember,
words.
remember, if you can't
Yeah,
explain it,
what that means to
no,
Sue.
spiritual mind treatment. Yeah.
What you got out of that? Like, what it means. Just
Threesome?
take a second.
You're going to explain it to me? Yeah, don't. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, what that means to them. Yeah. Because if they can't put that in their own words, then they don't understand it. I know, but I think that's my own right.
Yeah, I was definitely.
It is.
As soon as the belief is there, what you want is going to happen. That's what I was.
I know, she didn't like universal, but she needs to know what it is.
Gotta get to work.
Do anything until I have this.
Right.
Because that's what we have to start doing. If you're still in
That's
doubt,
what we're going to do right now. But it helps you to do that. That's its whole point.
well, it's because I was downloaded into my idea that I'm talking about myself. Is that this idea of that's why no one's getting it, is because they think they're trying to get it. And this is all we're doing is continually reminding them.
Right.
Because, and I think that I would be strict with myself, imposing myself, that I don't need it.
Okay, wrap it up. Are you all right? Did everybody explain it? Yeah? All right. It's good. Okay.
Remember tonight we're not rushing.
We're not rushing. Do you have something to write on? 'Cause
Oh, you guys have stuff to write on?
I'm going to give you this, so I'll just give it to you now. Yeah, I think it's the same thing. This is for you guys. Pass it.
Can you bring some over, Charles?
Pass it. This is just another version of this, all right? And we're just going to we're going to actually go through each step.
Yes. One thing I want to say so I don't forget it, and I was telling Rita that, is the discipline, that's been my message lately. No, it doesn't matter what degree we are. It's been, you need more discipline. You need more discipline, and that doesn't mean harder on yourself. It means this. Oh, you do not leave. Rita was talking about her meditation. If there's something that, yeah, this is all fine, and we know that about the field, and we know that we've got this power that we're creating from the law of our being. But this is what we want in order to demonstrate, and it's what Melissa, we were talking about earlier, not to leave until the entire, and I can feel it right now. It's amazing. Just, it's like electricity. And not to leave, like if I'm confused or I'm reactive and I'm not responding, I'm reacting. For me to take the discipline to say, I'm not leaving this presence until consciousness in demand comes forth, until I feel absolutely the presence of God, the field itself, vibrating frequency, and I don't care what it takes. I know, but I have to. No, you don't have to go anywhere because I'm going to trust me. If we stay disciplined and demand that from ourselves, everything else will go so fast that we won't be worried about catching up with time, or that we're out of time, or there's not enough time. And I just really said, I think all of the great mystics have said, I never leave the present. I never leave until the presence is here. And then I can speak, and then I can act, and then I can do that. So I think that this is the discipline that we're all at right now, is to say, you know what? No matter what, I'm not leaving until I'm vibrating at the frequency of the divine. I'm not leaving this place. Yeah, but what about, I hear you, but I'm not leaving until this happens. And watch how our life changes.
So is the treatment, so you're in this place vibrating, and you're doing a treatment for someone else. If they're vibrating at the same frequency, would it happen that much faster, or does it matter?
Actually not going to talk about other people tonight, but it's your belief in the receptivity of the person. All right, but we're going to do that next week. Oh, I don't want
Yeah, absolutely. But I do want to throw something out about that, but this idea about the levels of vibration. What happens when you're with someone, our beautiful brother and sister, and then you'll walk away and then you feel drained. I know nobody's ever felt that, but in case you have felt that, and I've said that too, it's because we're not serving. When I guilty as charged, when I go down, and I don't mean negatively down into the vibration that is not vibrating at a very high place, because there's confusion, there's all that stuff that's going on, then I go down into that and I cannot treat, because I'm in that vibration. So it doesn't matter to me if you're not vibrating. My obligation to me is to operate at the frequency of the divine. Therefore, whatever's happening in the room will raise the energy. We know it. We know it with kids, to behave like they're behaving, which sometimes you want to do because you're like, stop it, but if you'll vibrate at a higher frequency, then
Well, it also, what happens is you start to try to convince the other person.
Yes.
Or you're
That's
trying
it.
to, you're trying to convince them basically, and that's what makes you exhausted. I think they talked about it in the chapter.
They
You
did.
start arguing about it, and then you're exhausted because you can't do that.
because then you go into doubt of self. The minute I start trying to defend it, that means I'm not secure with it. So if I already know that I'm operating at the frequency of the divine, then we can have a conversation now, because my whole job isn't to get you to vibrate at that frequency. All I'm here to do is just be with you in the vibration that I am. See how much calmer that is, opposed to, I got to get them to get it. Yeah, good.
Okay, so we're going to go through each one of these separately, but we'll just read through them. So, recognition. Peggy, read it. Do you have one? Just read what recognition is.
I perceive the ultimate power and presence of God throughout the universe, realizing that this love, intelligence, permeates all form and all experience. And one more time. Recognition. I perceive the ultimate power and presence of God throughout the universe, realizing that this love, intelligence, permeates all form and all experience.
Okay, so the first step, you're just recognizing basically that God is all there is, all right? DJ, read the next one.
Unification. I recognize this power and presence as me through my I am statements.
Okay, so you are the presence. If the presence is everywhere, then it has to be within you. You have to be it, right? Okay, realization.
I clarify my desires and expectations, recognizing the spiritual truth of the experience I want, then declaring it as existing for me right now because of who I am.
Right. So because you have the power, and because you are the power, you have everything that power has, and so therefore you can declare from that place. You're declaring from first cause, from the absolute, from a field that's never been touched by anything, and you're creating something new. Yes?
I express gratitude for the demonstration as already complete and expressing as my life.
Right? It's already happened, so you're saying thank you.
Release. I release my word as law, and that I trust its action, and so it is.
Yeah, okay. All right, like I said, we're going to go through each of them separately, but I just wanted to review. Patrick,
Yes.
before you can start a treatment.
Oh, this is the
And you
big
have
thing.
do you have the blank paper? Did I give you the blank paper? No. Okay, I'm going to give it to you now while Patrick's talking.
So one thing I want to put out there too about taking a moment before you treat. I'll give you a good example. On Sunday, Malia doesn't mind. You know, she's our practitioner, but she kind of ran in. You know, okay, and then we were all like sitting there in a circle ready for the opening prayer for us to start before the service. And I could tell that she had not taken, and we talked about it afterwards, taken the moment, I'm vibrating again, taken the moment, and I've done it, I've ran, and okay, so this is what I know. Right here, and you don't know it, crap. Just to let you know that. You can't possibly know because you're not present. So whatever you're doing before you're going to do a treatment, or if it's with somebody else, but tonight we're talking about ourselves, take the moment. Just take it and say, before I start anything, I like doing that in sessions, let's get the atmosphere going right here, and the feeling and the and breathing. Does that make sense? Because if you rush into it, people usually, when that happens, they forget the purpose of why they're treating. Because they're just treating words and things that they know. So before you have your purpose, really takes time. So really take the moment to be present. To determine the treatment's purpose, look at the conditions you want to change, and then determine the truth underlying the conditions. The treatment heals the conditions by praying forward a greater expression of the truth behind the conditions. As with affirmations, prayer treatment must always be life-affirming, declaring the divine good that is present here and now. Let's break that down. Let's break it down. It's too much blah, blah, boo. So to determine the treatment's purpose, look at the conditions you want to change, and then determine the truth underlying the conditions. Okay. So,
I have the examples on the other page. Do you want them?
oh, you have the examples on the other page? Good. So we'll go there. Financial lack. This treatment is for the expression of prosperity in my life and affairs. Now, Rita and I were talking about this. We're making it just
Very simple.
Very simple. But there's more to it than that, as that can be. If you're sitting there, it may not be, but this is the opposite of financial lack. You want prosperity. But what also is in there, as we would treat as what? You know, deserving, self-doubt, and then go back over, I deserve everything because of who I am. Because what we're finding, and what I find, is that it is not about the stuff. Oh boy, I think it's about the stuff a lot of times, but it's not about the stuff. Somebody's in financial lack. There's a reason why they're in financial lack, and that's because they are not embracing prosperity. They're not embracing that for themselves. So our treatment, what's the purpose? The purpose is to express the expression of prosperity in my life and all of my affairs. That's what it's for, that I feel that, I know that. And then you sit there and you go, yeah, and then doubt comes in, and then you finish your treatment. I've said it many times, you finish your treatment, and you know when the buzz ain't there. You know when you've said something, and it sounded real good, but you didn't believe a damn word of it. You know that, I do. Oh, I was on fire with that one. Really? Well, then why are you still wondering where it is? Why are you still doubting yourself? So what do I do then? The opposite of this. So I find out, oh my God, I have doubt. So what's the opposite now? That my trust, faith, clarity. I'm so confused right now. I'm confused. I'm confused. I don't know which end is up right now. What am I going to treat for? Well, clarity. I need clarity. But you're not going to get clarity, Patrick. You're going to go back to the quantum field, and you're going to come from clarity, and you're going to see with new eyes. And what I know in the treatment is what? That I now see with new eyes. Wait a minute. Oh, I now see from a place of faith, a place of trust. I don't feel confused anymore. I feel aligned. I feel whatever. Now I can think straight. Yeah. Does that make sense? So we have to go to the opposite, but it's not simply just going opposite of this is that, opposite, because then you're just going to get into a playground that can't really change anything, because when you're in there, you're going to demand that through your treatment. I don't think like that way anymore. This is how I think, with clarity and with love, and I trust that this is moving through. Health, the treatment is for the revealing of perfect health as my true identity. Boy, we've been in that arena, haven't we, with health, either our own or someone else's. Once again, we are revealing perfect health. But beyond perfect health is a vitality, is a power to remember who we are as the ever-presence of God. That's what I know for these people that I'm treating for that are suffering through that. Or if I'm suffering through that, this morning I had something and I had a stomachache type thing, and I went, what do you really want to know? I said, perfect health, but I want peace of mind right now. I want peace of mind, and I'm treating for peace of mind. And all of a sudden, guess what? No more stomachache. Why? Same thing with your headaches or, stuff like that. Lost love. This treatment reveals that love is the center of who I am always, no matter what. Isn't that beautiful? That's the opposite. So let's go back to the other thing so I can be on I just want to be on the page of this. To determine the treatment's purpose, look at the conditions you want to change. You don't want to be confused anymore. That's one example. And then determine the truth underlying the conditions. Underlying it is what? What's underneath that condition of confusion? Clarity. Has to be. Why? It's the opposite, but why would it have to be clarity? Why would it have to be the opposite for good? What? Yes, it's the field, the vibration, the quantum gladness that we are in. So then we go to the treatment heals the conditions by praying forward a greater expression of the truth behind the conditions. What does that mean? Forward, something greater than the muck and the mire that we're swimming in. There's something greater happening, and guess what? It's not going to happen. We're not going to go get that. That's already happening. We just have to do what? Peel it up, clear it. Go, no, because that's why, so much vibration. But that's why it's confusing, because we think, well, as soon as I get to a state of clarity, I'll be okay. Instead of realizing you're already in a state of clarity, and we just put a whole bunch of stuff on top of it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, as with affirmations, prayer treatment must always be life-affirming, declaring the divine good that is present here and now. What does that mean for us? It means it must always be from a place of good, and not good in the way we think of good. It has to be life-affirming. Me saying that I'm a loser and this isn't going to work and these things never happen to me is not life-affirming. That is completely going, and by the way, I'm a loser, I never get the breaks, I never do, blah. Guess what? That is called spiritual mind treatment.
Yeah.
It's treatment. And once we realize that, man, our words and our thoughts and it changes it all. It becomes golden. Because it says, because then you'll catch yourself going, why'd I do that? Another stupid move. And then you're sitting there going, ooh, and all I hear right now is, and so it is, and so it is. Because this loving force loves us enough through us, as us, this incredible force that we are, loves us enough to give us that choice. Because if not, then we would be prisoners, and we would not be free. And I know that each one of us in this room knows that we're free. So, create the purpose statement before you begin. This is where I believe everyone can go off when treating. Because the purpose has to be so strong, so meaningful to you, so purpose, whether it's getting a car, whether it's whatever it is that you think you need to get that you already have, it doesn't matter. The purpose is so important because it has to be that important that I can't live in confusion anymore. I can't live in pain anymore. I won't live in pain anymore. Do you see that? I can't. Oh, I won't live in pain anymore. I am not pain anymore. Okay, so now you're all into that thing. But what are you? Oh, this is what I know. And this is my purpose. My purpose is to live a life so filled with love and expression and safety and whatever it is. To live a life and to think about what you want to experience. We talked about that. These treatments are not about getting, they're about experience. I experience wealth and abundance. I walk from wealth and abundance. And then all of a sudden you start seeing your garden, it just comes up more wealth, more. It's not like saying, I need that, I have to have that. It's the quality, because you don't really, it's always the quality. We were talking about cars this morning, and we were talking about, how about the kids in Beverly Hills? I'm just going to use them that I knew really well. I said, oh, dude, that red car, that convertible's mine, man. You know, I got the daddy who's going to buy that too. All I know is I want that. And you're thinking, well, that's not very, it's not coming from that place. How can you create it? They'll create it. It will happen. Because why? Because there's an energy behind it, there's a belief behind it, and that's what they want. That's what they see. That's what they But when we realize that everything is temporary except for God or the field or whatever. Does that make sense? Okay, so and we can finish I can't make a decision. This is a good one. This treatment reveals the clarity of the divine intelligence. As my mind, I always know what to do. That's another thing that we're going to take out of our vocabulary. We go, I always know. Whether or not it's apparent right now, I do know. I do know. And if you say that enough times in the day, you'll be surprised at what you know. If that's your only affirmation all day, I do know. This is what I know. I know that I know. Oh, I can relax. I know. And what is knowing? And then I'm done with my prayer. What is knowing? What's the big havoc? What's the big deal about knowing? What does knowing do for you? Knowing. I just really want to. I know. What good is it to know?
A treatment won't work without the feeling. Therefore, with knowing, you have a faith and a belief that provides that feeling for the treatment in order for it to go into that field and return back as law.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And when you know, there's nothing to get, there's nothing to fight, there's nothing to argue. We don't have to argue anything anymore than say, well, why are you so happy? Because I know who I am. We'll say, well, it's not that easy. Well, actually, it is.
It's a term we use when we treat. We say, what I know is. And you're telling yourself you already know. Because what are you going to say? I don't know?
Or
and
you're
if you
going to
think
say,
you don't know, then you're telling yourself, yes, you do know. Because there is a place within you that does know. Mm-hmm. There's a place within you that knows exactly what you want to do in a situation. You might have to reveal it. You might have to move a lot of shit out of the way. But you know.
So it's truly affirming. It's truly like to know something is to actually affirm it out into the universe. Like there is no doubt about it. I know it with all my heart and soul, with all my being. That's cool.
Well,
and don't forget, you're like changing your own mind. You're convincing your own mind.
Yeah, we have to remember that's
right. So
that's what you're
going into the treatment thinking you don't know. That's why you have to continue to tell yourself you do know. Does that make sense? And then a change will occur.
And I couldn't find the quote, but we'll paraphrase. But we've done it all together. This quote about when I know every person on this planet could tell me that I'm wrong, and it's not true, and it wouldn't matter because I know what I know. And that's a really, choose words carefully, Patrick, that can sometimes be a challenge in the world of opinions, in the world of stuff. But when you know it's so great, it's when you know it's so powerful. And then you can actually be in a room with a lot of I don't knowers, the ones that are still working life out and still trying to figure it out, and you're okay. You're okay when your child's not doing what you think they should do. You're okay when someone in your life is not doing what you think that would be the best, especially for me, since my life would be so much better if you were doing it that way. But it just is calmer, like the thing with the gentleman this morning. I want to let you all know, that was huge growth for Patrick Feren today. To be able to have that vibration in that moment to say, not again. We're not doing this again. I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. And if we keep saying that and keep believing it and keep feeling it, then we'll be able to have that kind of love and discipline with self. Did you bring a prop? Oh, that's right. So anyway, I think that this is really valuable tonight. I was briefly talking to Chia as we were getting water together. There's a different energy in this room tonight, and there's a powerful energy in this room tonight. And I am knowing, because I can know, that I don't think any of us are ever going to be the same after tonight. I really believe that in the most positive, most highest way. That something has shifted, that we're just sitting there going, not quite sure what the hell has shifted. Sometimes you ever feel like that? It's like, what the hell just happened? Or I always say, who changed the wallpaper in the middle of the night? And I got up and somebody changed the wallpaper in my house. Who did that? Who snuck in and did that? That's what it's like when we start remembering who we are. It's just powerful, and it's calm, and it's light, and it's, as I said on one Sunday, it's like making love with the, with
Give it up.
the intimate.
I don't think batteries are gonna hold.
So, but we know that we're not going to talk too much about sex on Sundays anymore.
Why not?
We got to leave that sex stuff out of the idea.
Okay, can we turn the light off for a minute? Or at least some of it off? Is that too dark? No, I can see. Okay, we're going to just do this. This meditation's called Experiencing the Qualities of God, okay? So is everybody okay? Do we need to go to the bathroom or anything? Are we good? All right. No, because I'll take a break now if we need to, before we do it. No? Do you want to? All right, then we'll do it when we come back. Okay, let's just take a break. Not too long, though.
I don't know about you, but something happened.
I just thought, because there's nothing worse than meditating when you have to go to the
Well,
bathroom.
Sue didn't say that. She just said, I would do it during. She didn't say she was going to leave. She just.
Right. But we'll take a break early.
Hello?
It's fine.
We have lots of in the office.
Oh, I know what happened. It broke. Remember last night when we were trying to get this apart? It's just we had a problem with it. Yeah, rubber band.
So it was a success?
Oh my goodness. It was amazing. Great. The best part of it was I was elated. I had this feeling of just
Is from Santa Rosa. But anyway, so he wrote this, and he started with a quote from a person said, "Oh, messenger of Allah, should I tie my camel and trust in Allah, or should I leave her untied and trust in Allah? The messenger of Allah, peace and blessings he upon him, said, tie her and trust in Allah. I now exercise my fearless faith in 3 ways: by thinking, speaking, and acting. I am unmoved by appearances, and therefore appearances move." That's Florence Shedd. Health starts with the knowledge, backed by conviction and belief, that there is one life. That life is perfect, and that life is our life right now. In it is the complete and whole pattern of perfection. We accept without reservation that it is the spiritual reality of our being. It is the only source, the only cause of every perfect action and function in our body. It alone heals and makes whole. Regardless of what the condition may be, it knows what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. Ernest Holmes. And then Edward wrote, when gathering information about the coronavirus, it is essential to use reliable sources and to be on the alert for incomplete or sensational news. In some countries, the number of reports cases appear to be on the rise and death has occurred. However, there continues to be reason to believe that we can respond proactively and affirmatively by first paying attention to the power of our consciousness, and second, by taking actions recommended by health officials, which, it turns out, are also effective against other flu strains and infections. As important as it is to be well informed and in touch with the reliable external sources of information, it is equally important to turn attention toward the source of our being and let that inner connection guide us through whatever fear or concern is clamoring for our attention.